prestigious universities in the world, a London School of Economics. And I think that also speaks to the fact that IPAM is becoming a global university.
Among many other benefits, the partnership would enable program exchange for students to get mixed educational culture, joint ventures, and cooperatives. The gathering saw the presence of stakeholders in the education sector, and they deliberated on the importance of entrepreneurship in addressing the country's social and economic challenges. They called on the delegation from the London School of Economics to give opportunities to other universities in the country and urged the students to develop more entrepreneurship ideas which resonates with the trending issues, as the collaboration signaled a new era of innovation and entrepreneurship, and IPAM leading the charge towards a brighter future. Students presented their innovative business ideas, which focus on tackling healthcare issues, education, and environmental sustainability. SLBC News, Aminata Fofana.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education has sent strong message to school authorities who are uploading unapproved candidates for 2025 West to desist forthwith. This decision came after the ministry found out that many school authorities have failed to upload their continuous assessment scores, which deadline for uploading of CAS ends on the 30th of September 2024. Moses Conte reports.
Among the criteria to qualify a pupil to attempt the WAS, a pupil should pass the BECE before he or she could be eligible to take the WAS. To verify the eligibility of a candidate, the Ministry of Basic and Senior Education and WAEC introduced a system that school administrators should upload their candidates' continuous assessment scores on a system set for these candidates to be vetted. Last year, several pupils who are in SSS 3 classes were unable to take the WAS because it was alleged that their school administrators failed to upload the continuous assessment scores of their candidate. This situation caused huge public outcry. To an extent, people blame the ministry and WAEC. To prevent such recurrence, the Ministry of Basic and Senior Education has commenced an engagement with school authorities for them to upload their candidates' continuous assessment scores, which will add to provide a comprehensive list of ongoing pupils in SSS level who are qualified to take the WAS.
Eligibility of WAS exam means that students have qualified in the first place to enter SS1. This means they should have passed 5 subjects, including either English or Maths. They also must have a valid BECE result in the last 2 to 3 years. Only 60 schools out of our 784 schools remaining or outstanding 224 schools have not submitted or uploaded any CAS. A total of 86,355, which was entered and cleared. Only 8,013 students have uploaded.
Regional Secretary, Western Region, Sierra Leone Teachers Union, Fodo Kuyate, call on the ministry to be robust in their engagement in making sure they meet their targets for the remaining schools to respond before the 7 days deadline.
We are worried that within this 1 week, except God help us, most of our children are going to suffer again this year. Out of 784 schools to be uploaded, only 60 schools. Let us be fair with ourselves. There is no magic we are going to play to have all of these schools uploaded, and these schools have candidates all over the country. And we want the remotest village of Sierra Leone to have the right to education. So if the ministry is coming with this mechanism now, to have the DDs, to have these remote schools in every district to come to this headquarter time, fine, it's good. But it will have been done before this time.
It was disclosed that the said system was designed in a way that no pupil will be left behind, and schools found to have uploaded unapproved candidates will face sanctions. The portal will remain open until Saturday, the 30th September 2024. Moses Conte for SLBC.
Now to the office of the First Lady. First Lady Fatima Bio has said foster care systems play a crucial role in providing safe environments for children who have been displaced or orphaned due to conflict. She was speaking at the Global Call for Action on Voluntary Envoy event in New York, hosted by the First Lady of Turkey in collaboration with UNICEF, where she calls on government and non-governmental organizations for a collaborative effort to bring about lasting change in the lives of children around the world. Maya Masuma reports.
During the Call for Action on Voluntary Envoys in New York, First Lady Fatima Madabio emphasized on the critical need for the protection of children, noting that many children have been given the chance to experience love and stability through foster care.
I call on all our governments, local partners and non-governmental organizations to continue to increase their support for foster care initiative. We must work together to ensure that foster families have the resources, they have the training and guidance they need to provide the best care possible for our children.
She noted that Sierra Leone already has ongoing initiatives aimed at improving child welfare, which she was so proud of.
To be part of this effort, I will continue to work tirelessly to ensure that every child, no matter their background, is given the opportunity to live in a safe and a nurturing environment. I want to encourage each of you, thank you. I want to encourage each of you to consider how you can be part of this movement, whether by becoming a foster parent yourself or by supporting existing foster families in your communities.
She lauded the First Lady Emin Erdogan of Turkey and UNICEF for organizing the event and took time to speak on Israel and Hamas crisis, which has destroyed the lives of innocent children who now need support and care. Madam Fatima Madabio called on leaders to do all they could to advocate for peace and provide aid to those in need all over the world. In her statement, the First Lady of the Republic of Turkey, Emin Erdogan, said there is 12% annual increase in foster family capacity each year, which shows that their efforts are paying off. As a nation, she went on, they are pleased to have placed nearly 10,000 children with long-term foster families, and that for those children who remain in institutions instead of care centers, they will focus on providing attention, trust, and a sense of family. For SLBC, Maria Basuma reporting.
Let's take some health stories. In commemoration of World Contraceptive Day, UNFPA has handed over contraceptives and life-saving maternal health medicines valued over $1 million United States dollars. The joint press conference also focused on raising awareness on the importance of access to safe and effective contraception. Christina Kamal witnessed the event at Atlantic Hotel in Freetown.
Sierra Leone still faces challenges in reproductive health, including high rates of teenage pregnancy and maternal mortality. According to the 2019 Demographic and Health Survey, 21% of young girls aged between 15 and 19 have begun childbearing. The survey indicates amid this, government has made notable commitments to strengthening family planning, and the use of modern contraceptives has increased from 8% in 2008 to 24% in 2019. However, there remains a high unmet need for family planning, particularly among married adolescent girls. According to UNFPA country representative Nadia Rashid, between 2019 and 2023, UNFPA has invested $13.8 million in contraceptive supplies and an additional $1.8 million for strengthening health systems.
In 2023, 640,000 women were using modern contraception in Sierra Leone, helping to prevent an estimated 240,000 unintended pregnancies, 87,000 unsafe abortions, and 770 maternal deaths.
An analysis was said to have been conducted by UNFPA and the Ministry of Health in 2024, which indicates that every $1 invested in family planning can yield returns of up to $10. Increasing annual spending on family planning from the current $5 million to $11 million could raise the modern contraceptive prevalence rate to nearly 50% by 2030, compared to the current rate of 29%. This shift, was said, could potentially generate an additional $638 million in economic output, preventing an estimated 3.1 million unintended pregnancies, 1 million unsafe abortions, and 10,000 maternal deaths from 2024 to 2030. Deputy Minister of Health 1, Dr. Charles Senesi, said the government of Sierra Leone and UNFPA have signed a supplies partnership which compact aimed at progressively increasing domestic financing for reproductive health supplies.
Sierra Leone is a low middle income country. Resources are hard to come by. So whenever we have people coming closer to us to make sure that we realize the dream of this country, we very much appreciate, especially the Ministry of Health, where we have that life stage model of care, that patient-centered care, which means from conception to senior citizen, we take care of all the factors that affect the patient along that journey of life, including contraception and the rights to what to do with your body.
UNFPA, the United Nations Sexual and Reproductive Health Agency, was said to be instrumental in ensuring access to modern contraceptives in Sierra Leone, with a commitment to ending unmet needs for family planning, adding that they have supplied 90% of modern contraceptive needs for the public sector. A youth and adolescent advocate, Rosalind Judy, who spoke about the challenges and misconception of contraception, said confidentiality, limited response to the needs of adolescents and young people were major challenges. UNFPA is the United Nations Sexual and Reproductive Health Agency. Its mission is to deliver a world where every pregnancy is wanted, every childbirth is safe, and every young person's potential is fulfilled. SLBC News in Freetown, Christiana Kamari reporting.
Now, even though the world is commemorating Contraceptive Day, which promotes sexual reproductive health issues, some people disapprove the usage of contraception due to its negative effects on women in particular. Our interns, Susanette Basti and Abubakar Kamara, dive deep into unravel the goodies and challenges associated with contraceptive. This report was read in a studio by Emmanuel Samora.
Contraception, usually called contraceptive, is the use of medicines, devices, or surgery to prevent pregnancy. There are different types of contraceptives, and some are reversible whilst others are permanent. Jadel microganol condoms, among others, are some of the contraceptives used to prevent unwanted pregnancies and also help prevent sexually transmitted infections. In Sierra Leone, condom is said to be the most sought after contraception, mostly used by men. About 24% of the teenage population in the country, the Planned Parenthood associations disclose, are the ones going for either of the contraceptive treatments.
Family planning contraceptives, yeah, they work with the hormones. So sometimes if you start to take it, it will become dizzy. Some people will tell you, say, they make her become fat. Some will tell you, say, it will make her become thin. But most of these people, when they say these things, they are all meet a misconception. Because imagine we all eat less, but not all we all bump, not all we all get big belly. So that just tell you the varieties of wisdom we can come. But I make you get different types them way available. If you feel say you're not too comfortable with this method, there's another method for you for use.
Even though the idea behind the use of contraception is to ensure better family planning and also prevent sexually transmitted infections, yet there are mixed feelings, especially among women, on its use. Ellen Dumbuya, a local businesswoman, expresses her dissatisfaction over the usage of contraceptive because she tried 3 different kinds of contraceptives, but none of them works. Instead, they negatively affected her.
This 27 at the talk so family plan, me, I been don't take them. Nothing way it be say it not good. I go take coil, I put them. So a day, pandande, I can't get belly. The Kwende, I get the belly. Then where I get the belly now, where I can born, now twin I can get. I born the one I'm a Kenny, but in all leave. But this one I didn't have my belly. This woman will get this shop. Now I left na the belly. So now they send me to Dr. Pridi for can see the pikin. But I they make if they make fine or if they fine.
Whereas a pupil from Miles Academy, Mabinti A. Kamad, disproves the usage of contraceptive for children below age 18 because of how it is negatively affecting a colleague in school who later lose her life.
National Pentecostal Secondary School, and she took Captain Ban, but she was continuing taking it. She was removing after 3 years, like she was taking it, and after she was done with it, and she passed away, and that was so sorrowful for me, and I've learned a lot about it.
Youth and Communication Officer of Planned Parenthood Association, Samuel Yeme Kouma, alludes to the side effect of contraception, but says its reactions vary among people, which breeds room for misconception.
If you are not sexually active, we can tell you to abstain. This is the simplest information. That is, you are not engaging to my men that the business is abstain from sex until you prepare mentally, physically for the engage, especially the young adolescents. For people that we actually engage into sexual activities, I want to tell them, let them use them, because when you plan a family, they get a happy family, they get a healthy family. That now another one, and also for let them use condom. Condom get multiple functions. Condom is the safest method of family planning.
Even with the challenges identified, the Planned Parenthood and the Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs believe the goodies outweigh the challenges and are, however, intensifying their awareness-raising effort to erase the misconceptions surrounding contraception.
Now, as the global community dedicates the month of September to childhood cancer, health workers at Olajuwon Children's Hospital in Freetown have revealed that there have been an increase in cases of cancer among children. This period, marked by community events, media engagement, and healthcare training, serves as a vital platform for raising awareness, particularly in developing nations like Sierra Leone. Jonathan Turner tells us more. At the forefront of the country's battle against childhood cancer is the Pediatric Oncology Unit at the Olajuwon Children's Hospital in Freetown. The unit organized a meeting between survivors, their families, and key stakeholders in the medical field to foster support for affected families and share experiences that provide hope. The platform also highlighted both the challenges and the successes of the country's ongoing fight against cancer. One of the survivors, Abdul Wahib Toure, was among those celebrated during the event. His father, Ibrahim Toure, expressed gratitude to the hospital staff for the recovery of his son.
Guide them and give a message to the parents outside there. Let them don't discourage whenever they saw their children, having the swelling or a disease. Let them come to the hospital. They have a proper treatment. Today as a father, I'm proud to stand here to give a message out there to encourage every patient, to come to the hospital. When they come, they have a better treatment for cancer.
However, stories like Abdul's are still too rare, as limited public education on the disease continues to prevent early detection and treatment. Medical practitioners at the Pediatric Oncology Unit said many parents bring their children for treatment only when the cancer has reached its worst state. This, they went on, reduces the chances of survival.
Children who die from cancer. We talk about the early warning signs. So that means what you should look out for so that you would come to the health facility and we can test and see if really it's cancer or not. Then we can manage this child. And if we start with the treatment early enough, we're more likely to heal that child.
Cancer, to this advocacy, people are coming in, people are thinking of it now. But unfortunately, most of them are coming late. That's the problem. Because the thing with cancers in children are different than that in adults. They're not the same type. And cancers in children, most of them, when they are detected early, in the early stages, they can be cured.
Although the doctors were said to be committed to improving the survival rates, healthcare workers called for increased community awareness about the signs and symptoms of childhood cancer. They said public knowledge combined with timely access to treatment could drastically improve the survival rates among children.
Of the work that we've been doing, that yes, in collaboration with Oleduri and Well Body Partnership, we are saving lives. So there are more, to understand that there are more who were not here today, but the 27 are just testament, a clear testament to it that it's a good trajectory, it's a good way to go, to voluntarily donate blood to save more lives.
Local and international organizations have been rallying to support those efforts. Several advocacy groups called for more community-based education campaigns and urging the public to donate towards cancer treatment and support services for young patients. For SLBC News, Jonathan Turner reporting.
Now move over to agriculture as a 3-day session to get input from various players in agriculture, including the public sector, on the establishment of the National Agro Dealers Network is underway in Bo. Sierra Leone Research and Agricultural Institute SLARI with Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security described the network as vital to seed production. Moses Conte was there and now tells us more.
The agricultural sector contributes significantly to the GDP of Sierra Leone. The reason various players in that field have converged in Bo City to validate and finalize the strategy for the establishment of a national agro-dealer network in Sierra Leone. The network, when fully operationalized, will anticipate to supply quality agricultural seeds in order to boost productivity. Project Manager Slari Tambajumu said to succeed in the Feed Salon agenda, having such a body to improve on productivity was timely.
We want to create an association wherein if the government or the Ministry of Agriculture or any donor or any partner want to have a contact with agro-dealers, there is one point of contact. So our target this year is 2,000 metric tons of certified rice seed and about 800 metric tons of certified maize seed. So this is how serious we are. You know, the minister is very serious. We want to reduce government spending on importation of seed. We have people who have the capacity to produce. This is how SLARI's project is supporting the Feed Salon agenda.
Agro dealers in fertilizers, seed and vegetable also threw light on the importance of what they will be doing and to align their activities with government's agenda.
Well, for us, this event is a good idea because SLARI bring all the idea for all the agro dealers to be in one point so that we can get the reality to focus on some of these produce that we are trying to bring out and to complete some of the mission or the vision of the government to Feed Salon. And also some of these produce we are trying to do the accessibility and also the productivity must be a quality one. And also Metula, we engage on processing, packaging, and we produce so many things at the same time.
It was hopeful that the establishment of the National Agro Dealers Network will give a big boost to the Feed Salon initiative, enhance strong networking among farmers and other relevant sectors. For SLBC, Moses Conte reports.
A week-long capacity building training for single-leg amputees who are into farming has begun in Freetown. The cause was for sharing of sustainable agriculture and appropriate technologies for them. It was organized by the association with support from Farmers UK. Ibrahim Samora was there.
The training brought together single-leg amputees nationwide to build their capacity in farming on crutches, on sustainable agriculture, and the appropriate technologies. Farming on crutches seeks to address the needs of amputees into an opportunity through World of Farming. Program coordinator and lead facilitator Mahmoud Kistin Samai said they designed the training to introduce participants to sustainable farming techniques. He underscored the importance of the session, noting that the association aligned its project with the government feed salon agenda.
Our farmers need to understand their farming in a very sustainable way. For example, how do we farm without damaging our soil, without damaging the ecology, but also how do we farm that we bring results, yield, so that we have food on our table, we have money in our pocket, and we have to send our children to school or to pay bills.
President Single Leg Amputee Sport Association Aruna Tula admonished his colleagues to take advantage of the training and encourage them to embark on agriculture. The association, he said, also focused on education and skills training for its members. Albert Manley Mustafa is the public relations officer, Single Leg Amputee Sport Association. He called on government and other development partners to support the association in their drive.
We want to complement the government effort and to make sure Sierra Leoneans are well fed in Sierra Leone. So that's the reason why the Single Leg Amputee is here today, the 24th of September, having their workshop to put together ideas for amputees and also able-bodied people to come and get the skills so that they'll be able to go and implement it into their communities to develop Sierra Leone food security for the future.
The trainees will cover topics ranging from introduction to farming and crutches program, principles of sustainable agriculture, farming techniques, and farming philosophy, among others.
This is news coming to you live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation from Freetown. We continue with more stories. Sierra Leone is currently one of 4 other countries in West Africa without a stock exchange. Experts say this is due to lack of knowledge and financial literacy in the country. To revive the situation, the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, UNECA, alongside the West Africa Monetary Institute, WAMI, is organizing a training to raise awareness and develop capacity on the integration of capital markets in West Africa countries. Soy Kamara was present at the start of the workshop at the Freetown City Council Hall and now reports.
The training features stakeholders in the financial and business sectors in Sierra Leone, including the Association of Commercial Banks, Telecommunications, Bank of Sierra Leone, and Ministry of Finance. It is organized by the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, UNECA, alongside West Africa Monetary Institute, WAMI. The 2-day workshop is aimed at raising awareness and developing capacity on the integration of capital markets in West African countries. A robust capital market is very significant to a country's economy, according to experts.
It can also contribute to promote transparency and governance. Capital markets require stringent regulatory frameworks which can enhance corporate governance and transparency in the business environment. 4, it can support economic stability, and in Africa we need that stability.
The Deputy Minister of Finance, too, described the training as timely and essential for Sierra Leone's capital markets. Bokari Kaloko said Sierra Leone has made significant progress in the financial sector in recent times, citing the development of the payment switch system. He was equally optimistic that reviving the stock exchange would deepen financial inclusion in the country and in the sub-region. Deputy Governor, Financial Stability Bank of Sierra Leone, Sheikh Cisse, said capital market was now a priority in Sierra Leone. Reviving the sector, according to him, would boost economic and business growth and attract business investors.
If we need our economy to grow and businesses to continue to innovate, we need a well-functioning capital market. And you will all agree with me that we live in a global village, and therefore we cannot operate in isolation.
Sierra Leone's lack of a stock exchange, according to experts, is due to lack of knowledge and limited training on financial literacy.
From Swakama, we go for international news.
Hello and welcome to International News with me, Cynthia Kamar. Israel's military has carried out airstrikes in Beirut, saying it's killed a Hezbollah air unit's commander. The Lebanese Health Ministry says 2 people were killed in the strikes and 15 injured earlier. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the military will fight with full force in Lebanon. The statement came after the US, UK and other allies called for a 21-day ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah. The Lebanese government says Israeli strikes killed at least 26 people across the country on Thursday, with more than 550 killed since Monday. Since 8 October, there has been nearly daily cross-border fire between Israel and Hezbollah. Hezbollah, backed by Iran, says it is acting in solidarity with Palestinians. Israel says it aims to remove Hezbollah's threats and return displaced people back to northern Israel. Sudan's army has launched a major offensive against the powerful paramilitary group in the country's civil war, targeting areas in the capital at the start of the conflict. Its dawn strike on Thursday, government forces shelled rapid support forces based in the capital Khartoum and Bari to its north. Sudan has been embroiled in a war since the army and the RSF began a vicious struggle for power in April 2023, leading to what the UN has called one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. Up to 150,000 people have been killed in the conflicts, while more than 10 million people, about a 50% of the population, have been forced from their homes. The military escalation comes despite US-led efforts to broker a ceasefire, which is being discussed on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly this week. Residents said the artillery and air strikers started overnight and intensified at dawn. The Speaker of the U.S. House, Mike Johnson, has demanded that Ukraine fire its ambassador to Washington as a feud between the Republican Party and President Zelensky escalates. Johnson's intervention comes after President Zelensky visited an arms factory in Scranton, Pennsylvania. The hometown of President Joe Biden is a key swing state, with several top Democrats in a public letter. The top Republican said the visit was designed to help Democrats and claimed it amounted to election interference. The row has threatened to overshadow Zelensky's meeting with President Joe Biden on Thursday, during which he will present a plan for victory in his country's war with Russia. Since his arrival to the U.S. on Sunday, Zelensky has ramped up efforts to persuade the U.S. and other allies to lend more support to Ukraine as it fends off Russian advances. And Cameroonian separatist leader has been arrested in Norway for his alleged role in the ongoing armed conflicts in the Central African country. Lucas Yabacho was arrested on Tuesday on charges based on his various expressions on social media, his lawyer told the BBC. Cho is an influential figure in the Anglophone movement pushing for independence from Cameroon, where over 6,000 people have been killed and nearly 1 million others displaced since fighting began in 2016. Some in the country's 2 English-speaking regions say they are discriminated against by the French-speaking majority. Human rights group Amnesty International has accused both government troops and armed separatists of killing, rape and torture of civilians. Well, that's it for International News with me, Cynthia Kamara.
From International News, we'll move over to Business Updates.
Hello and welcome to Business Updates, a segment that brings you current stories and issues around business and the economy. I am Moses Conte. In In this edition, UN Economic Commission for Africa and West Africa Monitoring Institute organized a training on the integration of capital markets in West Africa countries. A strong and well-developed stock exchange or capital market has significant benefits in a country's economy, and it can boost business growth and boost direct foreign investment. This is why the UN Economic Commission for Africa, alongside the West Africa Monitoring Institute, is organizing a training in Sierra Leone to raise awareness and develop capacity on the integration of capital markets in West Africa countries. Here is the Chief Financial and Domestic Resource Mobilization Officer, ECA, Sonia Esombaje, speaking about the importance of the stock exchange.
Our initiatives focus on creating enabling environments, and we know how important a strong regulatory framework is important to attract investment. We have been providing technical assistance. This is what we do, and we do that for our member states. And of course, having in mind that we have a continental agenda, we want to foster regional integration. We want to see Africa country, or I would say our continent, have a bigger stake when we talk about international trade or even in the global financial architecture. This is our vision. The section I lead at ECA, Innovative Finance and Capital Markets, has been developed and has been created, to help and support the country, the continents, in the development of its financial architecture. Without financing, development is not possible. And I want to emphasize this. Crises are becoming the new normal. Without financing, economic development is not possible. Without financing, the development of the private sector is not possible. Without financing, our businesses cannot grow. So this is how important finance is now. And when I say finance, it's also how we manage the finance. The governance runs the financing solutions, or the finance we have is also equally important. Our work is also guided by three main agendas. One, Agenda 2030 and the Sustainable Development Goals. Two, Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. And three, the implementation of AfCFTA, African Continental Free Trade Area. So we have been providing support to countries in developing the domestic bond market, setting up the stock exchanges, just as we are discussing here in Sierra Leone. These are the type of project that this section supports, and this is the reason why we were created.
That's all for Business Update with me, Moses Conte.
For Moses Conte's Business Update, we'll move on to entertainment news.
Hello and welcome to the Entertainment News. With me, Julian Dumboya. In this edition of the Entertainment News, Link releases date for his Freetown concerts. Nomi George featured in a new movie, The Enemy Within, and a surprising turn in a legal battle as Cassia Ventura drops charges against P. Diddy. One of Sierra Leone's young and rising stars, Link, has released the date for his Freetown concert, which he posted on his Facebook page. The concert is set to happen in Freetown. Fans can expect an unforgettable night filled with high-energy performances of his chart-topping hits alongside special guest performances. Fans of the artist are encouraged to party with the incredible talent of one of Sierra Leone's finest musical gems. Link has recently made Sierra Leone proud at the international stage. Now we move to something trending. Nomi George is flying the Sierra Leone flag high as the talented reality TV star is making waves in Nollywood and quickly becoming a rising star in the movie industry. His latest film, The Enemy Within, is now out and is a must-watch. Let's support Nomi and celebrate his achievements as he continues to shine in Nollywood. And finally, just a day ago, Cassie, the former girlfriend of St. Cobbs, aka P. Diddy, has decided to drop her recent charges against the music mogul P. Diddy. The decision came just weeks after the singer and actress filed a lawsuit alleging years of abuse and manipulation during their romantic relationship. She said she has forgiven him and they had a misunderstanding. P. Diddy, who have denied the allegations, expressed relief at the case and emphasized his ongoing commitment to personal growth and healing. As both parties have moved forward, fans and followers are left wondering the outcome of P. Diddy's case. Well, that's all we have in this edition of the Entertainment News. I have been your presenter, Jerry Ndumbia. Bye-bye.
From Entertainment News, we will now join the Sport Desk for Sport Updates.
Warm welcome to Sport Updates and News. I am a presenter, Esther Samura. In this edition of the Sport News, the Chief Executive Officer of FC Hensin, Malik Pascal, has sealed a 3-year deal for young sensation winger Mohamed Fofana, aka Fastest, with Egyptian top-tier side Pyramids. Here is a report. The former Diamond Stars player Mohamed Fofana secured the 3-year deal with Egyptian heavyweight side Pyramids. This deal, which was pioneered by the Chief Executive Officer of FC Hensin, Malik Pascal, saw excitement, tears of joy and prayers spread amongst the Connaught community, where the 19-year-old sensation, commonly known as Fastest, hailed from. Fofana is amongst the lineup of the country's outstanding youth talent that the CEO of FC Hensin embarked on unveiling through his international collaboration and identification of talented rising stars from across the country. According to Malik, Fofana's move was part of his desire to continue his mother's legacy of changing the lives of young talented Sierra Leoneans using football as a tool of development. In the news also, the head of Coach Education and Talent Development Scheme at the Sierra Leone Football Association, Daniel A. Conte, attended the FIFA Coach Education Leadership Exchange Knowledge Workshop in Kigali, Rwanda. Here is a report.
The 4-day event brought together 17 participants from across Africa to enhance the development of football coaching in the continent. The workshop focused on understanding the role of member association coach education leaders, exchanging best practices, and building strategic plans for coach development. Daniel Abdel Conte, the head of Coach Education and Talents Development Scheme, was phenomenal in the course of the training, contributing positively in the sessions. Conte's involvement in the training reflects SLFA's commitment to raising coaching standards and developing local talents. The insights gained from the workshop are expected to strengthen SLFA's coach education framework, supporting the long-term goal of football in Sierra Leone.
Well, that's it for Sport Updates on News. I have been your presenter, Esther Samura, saying goodbye, keep watching the Slbc.
Many thanks there to Esther Samura for that latest update in sport. But from there, that's how we draw the curtains of the news this morning. But before we go, a quick recap of our main point. First Lady Fatima Bio has appealed to governments and the non-governmental organizations for collaborative efforts to bring about lasting change in the lives of children around the world. She was speaking at the Global Call for Action on the Voluntary Envoy event in New York, hosted by the First Lady of Turkey in collaboration with UNICEF. Even though the world is commemorating Contraceptive Day, which promotes sexual reproductive health issues, some people have disapproved the usage of contraception due to its negative effect on women in particular. And Ministry of Technical and Higher Education has held a town hall session at the multipurpose hall of Freetown College, bringing together educationalists, students and community stakeholders to discuss on financial issues affecting students and university administrators, and to promoting quality, accessible higher education in Sierra Leone. Well, that's how we end this edition of news from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. I am your anchor, Esther Sako. Up next is Good Morning Sierra Leone. Stay with us.
Yes, boss. I'm ready for the meeting today. And I don't download all the reports they sent to me on the internet.
Make sure so you get super connection, because I don't want one problem during the meeting.
Everything is okay. Everything is fine.
Counting on you, even though we're not in the same office. I will be with you every step of the way.
Life no go ever sweet without
that thing what we call love. Now that make
no fact na a very good program where any big person can look and enjoy.
Now the kind of program we for spend time for watch. Now the kind of program we for spend time for sit down for look.
And this program it made around land format, and I wonder you save life.
The Love Factor show is about family, love, counseling,
relationship. We say we dey build and maintain relationship. This na program we say we dey counsel you for let you know how for dey with your partner, let you know how for settle disputes between you and your heart to heart.
Well, you do hear it for yourself.
Join the Love Factor team
every Sunday 10 p.m.
for help make we all enjoy love and peace.
we don't run away. We come for better. We people they want for see what till we they do. We people they want for know what till we they say. Oh, we let we swallow.
Today is Friday, the 27th of September 2024, and it is a pleasant morning and a warm welcome to your program Good Morning Sierra Leone, the program that always starts your day. I am Sheku Smiler. Coming up in this edition of the program Good Morning Sierra Leone, before that, let me just go through the wise words or the quote of the day, which is from an American poet, James L. Jones, and it says, one of the hardest things in life is having words in your heart that you can't utter. I go over the quote of the day for this edition of the program Good Morning Sierra Leone, and it is from an American poet, James R. Jones, and it says, one of the hardest things in life is having words in your heart that you can't utter. Coming up in this edition of the program Good Morning Sierra Leone, Right to Access Information Commission commemorates the International Day for Universal Access to Information. 1.5 million children to receive third polio vaccines across 14 districts in the country. And the Albert Academy celebrates 123rd anniversary. All of these and more are lined up in this edition of the program Good Morning Sierra Leone, that is reaching you from a broadcasting house, New England Jail in Freetown. You're still watching is Good Morning Sierra Leone, live from a broadcasting house, New Englandville. Well, the Right to Access Information Commission has imposed a fine of 80,000 millions on the Corporate Affairs Commission, also known as CAC or CAC, for failing to respond to an information request. After multiple exchanges between the requesters and the CAC, the Right to Access Information Commission has determined that the CAC is non-compliant, leading to this penalty. This event aligns with the commemoration of the International Day for Universal Access to Information, for which the Commission is hosting a symposium this morning. In the studios to talk more on this is the Public Information and Communications Manager at the Right to Access Information Commission, David Patrick Kamara. Good morning.
Good morning, Sheku, and thanks for having me.
Okay, yes, and congratulations as you celebrate, universal access to information. But then this has come at a time when you've also already defined on the Corporate Affairs Commission 80,000 millions for failing to provide information. And this is according to your act of parliament, which you are using as a tool to enforce whatever you have to enforce. But else, now let's talk about this corporate affairs commission on which you have levied a fine. Did you exhaust other options before reaching to this decision that you've taken?
Thank you very much, Sheku, and it's a pleasure to be here this morning. Well, the Corporate Affairs Commission is not the first institution that the Right to Access Information Commission has levied a fine on. We can go back to the Bank of Sierra Leone and formally, and also the Ministry of Health years back. But let me just give a brief background to what the Commission is doing. The Right to Access Information Commission is the regulator for information access in Sierra Leone. We all know that information access is now like a vogue all over the world. If you want to talk about development, you have to give the citizens the opportunity to know a couple of things. And the drafters of the law also put in exemptions. So it's not all information, but there are classes of information that you have to proactively give and others you give on request. So in the case of the Corporate Affairs Commission, one Sierra Leonean, Eleanor Thompson, requested for pieces of information, and the Corporate Affairs Commission did not respond to her request. And after the 15 days period that the Act made provision for, the Eleanor Thompson wrote another letter to the Commission to complain or apply for a review of the decision of Corporate Affairs Commission. The Commission also sent in another letter to the Corporate Affairs Commission, giving them 17 days to respond. We're not asking them to give, but at least to respond to the requester, whether they are holding the information or they are not, but there should be a response in the first case. And after the 7 days elapsed, the Commission was left with no option but to levy the fine.
Now, David, let's talk about generally the issue of compliance. We have several, we have a lot of MDAs. It is that those we are levying fines on, these are the ones that are not compliant at all, or there are some that are not compliant, but fines are not levied on them. In other words, somebody may want to ask, as inquisitive as I am, to believe or think that probably you are cherry picking.
No, that is not the case, Sheku. If you read our annual reports or the press releases we have been putting out over the years, we have always been communicating to people about the successes of the Commission. There are a lot of successes. We have institutions. That's why, first of all, I made mention of the proactive disclosure of information. Now, there's a list of classes of information that you should put out proactively. You don't have to wait for someone to request for that information. And we have a scheme that we normally send to MDs. They complete it and they publish that information in their website. So in that case, you are not obliged, you as an institution or a public authority, you're not obliged to go process the document and give to the requester because it's already out in the public domain. And that has been very successful for some MDAs. The people that we are finding, there is no need to cherry pick, Sheku. We are finding institutions that are refusing to comply, to give out information that do not fall under the exempt information. Let me give you a recent example of a success case. Recently, we received a series of requests from civil society organizations, including SLAJ, BAN, and others. They were requesting about the final report that led to the suspension of the Auditor General, and they copied the Commission. And after the 15 working days period, they also wrote for a review. The letter was actually sent to the Secretary to President and the Attorney General. The Commission reviewed, but in the process of reviewing the application, we noticed that the document they're asking for has already been in the public domain. It has been published. Some of the requesters withdrew their request, but for those that did not withdraw their request, what we did was to go to the bookshop. We did our investigation. We noticed that the document they're asking for is already in the public domain. So we wrote back to them that, yes, we have received your request, and we have noticed that the document you're asking for is already in the public domain. So it is not the responsibility of the requester, of the institution, like the Secretary President or the Attorney General in that case, to process the information. We refer them to where the document is available and they get it. So we have a lot of success cases. People abroad are requesting for information and MDAs willingly give out the information. But the case of Corporate Affairs Commission is just an example of a few that we have that are not complying.
Okay, now, the Corporate Affairs Commission, there is this particular, unit, in the Ministry of Trade, where because of the bottlenecks, too many bureaucracy to do business in Sierra Leone. In fact, the World Bank is funding that particular unit in the Ministry of Trade and Industry, ease in doing business. So which means they are very much strategic when it comes to ensuring ease to doing business in Sierra Leone. Because before this time, investors were discouraged. They come, they have to go to this office, this department, but now they want to create a one-stop shop. When you go there, you do your arrangements for your business to commence. So if they are not giving out information that they are supposed to give, to enhance ease in doing business in Sierra Leone, then it is something that we should be worried about.
Yes, let me just shed light on the document, on the request, that the documents that the person is asking for. She's asking for certified copies of all reports, resolutions, including audited financial statements and any other document that is filed in by the Sierra Leone Bar Association for the period of 19th March 2013 and 28th of May 2024. So these are the documents that they are requesting for. We are not saying that Corporate Affairs has all of them or this or that, but what we're saying in the first place, regard the request, acknowledge the request, that I have received the request and we are working on it, or we do not hold this information. That is the normal procedure.
But if it's that, did you, somebody wants to ask, did you engage them? But the thing is that you must have exhausted other means, of trying to get the information you needed from them. So, did you exhaust all other options before taking this particular decision?
Yes, we have. First of all, as regulators, we do not have the power to just do things by our own. We are guided by our act, and our act makes it clear that in situations of such, what we are to do is to engage the MDA first of all, tell them that we have received the request, and that is what we did, and we gave them a 7 days period to respond. They also flouted that 7 days, which is a violation of Section 4, and the Commission is left with no option but to levy the fine.
Okay, now the fine has been levied, and by law they are supposed to pay. So now, what has happened? Have they reacted to this fine that you've levied?
So, like I said, there are layers in our act, and we are not the only body that can adjudicate on this matter. Now that the fine has been levied, the Corporate Affairs Commission has 45 days to either review or appeal the decision of the Commission to the High Court, or they honor the fine. And the Commission will only take the decision further after 45 working days. So we are waiting to ensure, to see what the Corporate Affairs...
So in other words, within 45 working days, if they comply, it is that you are going to withdraw, your decision, as it stands right now?
No. Complying or giving out the information to the requester is not something that will fade away the fine. What we are doing, you are paying the fine and you give the information to the requester. The appeals that they can do, they can go to the High Court if they think that the Commission has treated them unfairly. So they can now go to the High Court, like the Bank of Sierra Leone did. When we find the Bank of Sierra Leone, we went to the High Court and the matter is still there. All parties have made their argument. We are waiting for Justice Fisher to pass the judgment. So that is the case. There are layers, layers of appeals.
So as a commission, you have a legal team, hired or always ready to represent you in court, because that also, might be quite an expensive venture.
Yes, and that is why we have also been asking the government of Sierra Leone to see how they can improve on supporting what the Commission is doing. We have a legal and compliance manager, and he has been working. He's the only person working on all these issues nationwide, because we also have regional offices. So we have a legal and compliance manager who is working on these things, but he's exhausted because there are a lot of cases, a lot of issues.
So you need more lawyers, right?
So we need more. Well, we need more lawyers, and we need other compliance officers.
Because when it comes to compliance, you know, it is natural most times, just like paying tax. You know, most people want to evade tax or taxes, as the case may be. So when it comes to adherence, when it comes to compliance, you know, it is always difficult. You end up in court most times. So the reason you should have legal retainers because you'll be going in and out of court because people don't just want to comply.
Yes, if I can put it in percentage, I would say it's 10% in terms of not compliant so far. But we have institutions that are doing very well in ensuring that, first of all, they proactively disclose information. That is also reducing the burden on them. If MDs are now requesting for information, they will refer them to their website, say go there, the information is there. And we also have institutions that are responding to requests upon the request of someone. What I'm trying to say, if the requester puts out a request, which is the reactive way, they can also respond to that. So we have success cases.
All right.
And like you said, as I close,
you're not closing because I'll be coming back to you because you're going to talk about this day, for which you're having a symposium, that is the universal access and to information. For this day, you are hosting a symposium. We'll come back to you later in the program. And he is David Patrick Kamara, Public Education and Information Manager at the Right to Access Information Commission. And the program you're still watching is Good Morning Sierra Leone, live on the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation television. We'll now move on to the health sector. Again, the Ministry of Health and the National Public Health Agency has announced that an estimated 1.5 million children under the age of 5 will receive a third round of polio vaccines in the coming days across 14 districts in the country. Polio, a preventable disease, can cause lifelong paralysis, remains a significant public health concern in the country. The third round of polio vaccinations will be conducted from September 27th to the 30th, targeting children in 14 districts across Sierra Leone. For more on this, we have in the studios the communications officer in the Ministry of Health, and he's Harold Thomas. Good morning, Mr. Thomas, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, thank you for having me.
Now, polio, there was a point when, Africa was jubilating, but we had eliminated polio. All of a sudden, we started hearing about cases in some other countries. And as we know, we are living in a global village. What happens in America, can also happen or could also happen in Sierra Leone because of movements, here and there. Tell us the level of threats polio is at present posing to Sierra Leone. We're talking about the vaccination itself.
Yes, polio has been eradicated in Sierra Leone and many other countries. You could recall in 2010, Sierra Leone was giving a provisional certificate that we are polio free. But later we had a case from, originated from Guinea, and the certificate had to be withdrawn. And then later on, we got the certificate that we are polio free. We are talking about the wild polio virus. When we talk of the wild polio virus, many countries, in fact, around the world are polio free. But we would want also to make sure that there is no resurgence because there are emerging and re-emerging diseases. And what we are trying to fight against is a different thing altogether. It's a variant of polio, that is polio type 2, that was found in sewage sample in Mabila Sawmill Bridge in March this year. So the Ministry of Health and the Public Health Agency, National Public Health Agency, actually started to to do something about this. So what we did was we activated the Public Health National Emergency Operations Center, to level 2, which was the ISM level, in the Incident Command System. But all over the world, well, in fact, in Africa and even in Central Africa, West Africa, there are a lot of resurgence of this. We have not found this in humans, as but we saw it in a sewage sample. So it means maybe there is somebody out there that is sharing the virus. So we took this very seriously, and then we did a first round. And again, Sierra Leone was not the only country. It was a synchronized polio vaccination activity that we did for Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guinea, Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, and some other countries even in Central Africa, because we are all having, we are all detecting this type of, variants that we don't want it to actually mutate and, result into something else. Because polio is such a very, very serious disease. The paralysis from polio is irreversible, meaning if the arm, any part of any of the limbs are paralyzed, it is irreversible. But if we have paralysis from other diseases like maybe Colibari syndrome or transverse myelitis or other diseases, those ones can be reversed. So what we are doing is to make sure that we give extra doses, what we call supplementary doses. These doses are given irrespective of the immunization status of the child. So we have done 2 rounds and we are doing the third round now, which is synchronized with Sierra Leone, Liberia, and a number of other countries. And then we are expecting to do a 4th round, because we want to make sure that we do not have any trace of polio, in the world, except maybe in repositories, in laboratories.
Okay, now the exercise itself, the 3rd round of the polio vaccination, will commence today, or has commenced already.
That's right.
That today is the 27th. Yeah. Let us know before the start. I mean, before today, how much have you gone in reaching out? Because, for example, some children, children are in school. Some of them are in school, and some of them are in far to reach communities. So, how much have you mobilized to ensure that this 1.5 children that you are targeting actually get the vaccines?
So the strategy is that we are dealing with 14 districts from today, the 27th of September to the 30th, 14 districts, and western area, urban and rural is not included in this round. And we will be dealing with western area, urban and rural from the 11th to the 14th of October, so that we put all our resources in western area, urban and rural, because these are big districts. And again, we are dealing with the target population is 0 to 59 months. That is 0 to 5 years. And some of these are actually...
Also, in other words, okay, now I understand that most of, except otherwise, the kindergarten, children or
there are school going children on that age.
Okay, and there are school going children. So the question is, will you be going to schools?
No, we would not be going to schools, except there is need for us to do that. But we have sensitized them, or we have in conversation with the Ministry of Basic Education. In fact, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Health wrote to the Permanent Secretary of MBSSC to explain about this activity, and they have also written letters to parents for consent. So if we miss them at their homes, the vaccination teams will be going to their schools to give the vaccination. So that's how we are going about.
But Mr. Thomas, there is this people have got a kind of notion about vaccines. Some would say, even when in some areas, in some countries, like for example Nigeria, we see communities chasing out, health workers who are gone to administer some of these vaccines to say, oh, well, it will lead to infertility. So how much have you done, as a country, to kind of change that mindset? No, some of these vaccines are there to make us infertile. Some of these things, I know you've heard about it, and you've also encountered.
These are myths and misconceptions, and it's quite different. Vaccines are life-saving interventions. Now we are talking, for instance, if I could digress a little, we are talking about mpox, and you could recall, when we in our formative days when we were small, they were giving vaccines on the left for smallpox. Now that smallpox vaccine is what they are using for mpox. So if there is no one that has taken that vaccine that would actually fall ill of mpox, because that vaccine is for life. And that smallpox vaccine, when they gave that smallpox vaccine at that time, they were able to eradicate smallpox. Globally, there is no smallpox again, except maybe the virus may be in one of these repositories in laboratories. So that is the power of vaccines, And even if you look at those countries that are getting mpox now, you would realize that it's on population below maybe 40 or 45 years that are not vaccinated. So vaccines are life-saving interventions. That is why we are able to, it is possible to eradicate diseases like polio, because we have a very, very efficacious vaccine for polio. These are myths and misconceptions, and we have a way of dealing with with these myths and misconceptions.
Okay, so that has been. Now let us talk about. I'm glad you mentioned mpox. We know that in Africa, Burundi, DR Congo and Burundi, they are accounting for the highest number, over 90%.
91%.
91%, so over 90%.
Yeah.
So now the thing is, a case has been reported, or cases reported in neighboring Liberia and also Guinea.
Yeah.
And we know how porous our borders are. So let us know the measures you put in place to secure the country. Because the thing is that if you look at the geography of Sierra Leone, Liberia, and part of Guinea, then you will just be thinking, but once it has happened in Guinea or it has happened in Liberia, there is the possibility of a crossover. So what are the measures in place right now?
Sierra Leone has a way of making sure that we try to prevent this disease, and even if in case we have to have it, because these deals with trade and travel, we will be maybe the last country to have it. If you could recall, we had Ebola in 2014. It started in Guinea, went to Liberia, we were the last. And even with COVID, Sierra Leone was one of the very last countries to record a case, because of the proactive measures that we are doing. In fact, in COVID, if you look at the report for the West African Health Organization, they said all ministries of health should emulate the example of Sierra Leone when it comes to risk communication and community engagement. That is the outfit that.
So in other words, Sierra Leone has become a center of excellence.
Yeah, that's right. Because even for those things we in the West African region, that is West African Health Organization, we have a network. We have the network for the AU. Some of us are even members of those advisory board.
Okay.
We need, as I'm talking to you now, today, 27th of September, as at 9 a.m., we do not have a case. We have gotten a number of suspected cases, but suspected cases are not confirmed cases. We spread our nets wide and say, for the general public, we are only looking for fever and rash.
Okay.
So when there is any case of fever and rash, we investigate and we make sure that these are even tested in a competent laboratory. So we do not have a case. And according to the International Health Regulation for diseases like Mpox, just one case is an outbreak. So we do not have an outbreak. But we are very, very much vigilant.
So we don't have an outbreak, but do we have a case?
We do not have a case.
Okay.
In suspected cases are not cases.
Okay.
If we suspect anyone of having Mpox, we'll make sure that we do the necessary laboratory investigation, and if that person is negative, it's not a case. There are a lot of diseases that looks like Mpox, but they are not Mpox.
All right.
And you could recall in 2010 and even 2014, we were having outbreaks of Mpox. We had an outbreak in Pujan, we had an outbreak in Bo. And these ones were only one case, and it did not even spread to any other person. And then we counted 42 days, that is 2 incubation periods, and we declared it over. So in case, may the Lord forbid you have a case, we will make sure that it does not spread. That is how you deal with outbreaks.
All right, okay, thank you so much. And he is Harold Thomas, of communications expert in the Ministry of Health. Well, he has been talking to us about rolling out vaccines for 1.5 million children under the age of 5, right? Five years.
That's it, 0 to 59 months.
Oh, okay.
That is under 5 years.
All right, okay. Thank you so much. And also, he has just spoken about moves or efforts being made to prevent this country from contracting the Mpox. The program you're watching is Good Morning Sierra Leone. As we are here, our colleagues are in Bo for this year's annual general meeting of SLAJ, that is the Association of Journalists. They are in Bo for AGM. Wish them all the best as deliberations are on the way. When we shall be joining our outside broadcasting in Bo for coverage on that particular event. That is the annual general meeting of the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists. Our program is Good Morning Sierra Leone. We go for a very short break and we'll be right back.
As a mother of the house, whenever I want to prepare palm soup, there's no need pounding palm fruit. All I need is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. My soup is done, and its preparation, it is not difficult at all. Nkulenu palm soup base, it's easily done with no difficulties. Just take few ladles and your soup is done. And its flavor, it's amazing. This is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. And this is Nkulenu's Ghana's original spiced palm soup base. Iron fruit and turkey berries are naturally added.
Also available brown gold natural cocoa powder, sunny gold brown sugar, neat fufu flour, shito, pisa and moringa. All available at Nyami Ado Enterprise, 1 Lower Waterloo Street, Freetown.
Nkulenu palm soup base.
Ghanaian original taste.
Back, and the program you're still watching is Good Morning Sierra Leone, live on the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation television. Well, I still have in the studio David Patsky Kamara, the Public Information and Communications Manager at the Right to Access Information Commission. Now, David, you are having a symposium today on International Day for Universal Access to Information. Now tell us, but just give us first a brief background to this day itself, quickly, before talking about the symposium itself. Quickly.
Okay. The Right to Know Day was established by the United Nations General Assembly on the 15th of October 2019. Basically, like I mentioned earlier, the international bodies and the world over have come to the realization that for development to take place, the accessibility of information is pivotal. And so therefore they set a specific day aside, which is the International Day for the Universal Access to Information, also known as the Right to Know Day, so that we can come together, discuss, brainstorm, come up with challenges and possible resolutions on the way forward on how to open the space in the public and especially the private sector, so that people will be able to access information that will lead to development. So that's how the Right to Know Day came about. And now, as we're talking, the Commission in Sierra Leone, the RIC, has been doing its best to observe the day since 2019. And today again, we are having a symposium at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Conference Hall, where we'll be having experts in information access, representatives from government, civil society organizations, and even public authorities to talk or chat the way forward on how to improve information access in Sierra Leone.
Okay, so I know, Dorian, have you got a theme or a topic for this year's celebrations, or for the symposium itself?
Yes, we have a theme. The theme for this year is mainstreaming access to information and public participation practices across government sectors in Sierra Leone. So it boils down on how we can make information access a topic of discussion, how we can put it as in the mainstream to ensure that it does not sound as a new thing whenever you mention information access. And mind you, Sheku, you will agree with me that in Sierra Leone, the culture of secrecy has been entrenched in our public offices over the years. Even if you ask for the list of workers in the institution, they will tell you that, that is national security. Why do you want to know? They will start asking questions. And that is what the RIS is trying to break. We want the public to be able to access information, to open the space. And I would like to say we have MDs that have really gone far in ensuring that they comply with what is in the
But I think quickly before you go, somebody might say, or critics might say, but you are hiding behind, the act to still continue to maintain secrecy, especially when it comes to the issue of classified information. Some will say, or public interest. It has to be the interest of the public, which has not been defined anyways. And also classified. No, this information is classified, and the Act makes provision for that. For classified information to be kept classified. And also, there's also this talk about public interest, which has not been properly defined. So some will say, people are still, the secrecy, that secrecy clause is a hindrance to the right to know.
Well, I will agree with you to some extent, but what I want to make clear is that the drafters of the law are not oblivious of the fact that there are some certain pieces of information. If you release them, there will be a lot of controversy. For example, issues of national security. If you go now and ask the military, please tell me how many armored cars you have, how many machine guns you have. It's a national security issue. And but again, we are not holding on to just that exemption. This is an issue of national security. The law makes it clear that even in an exemption, if the public interest outweighs the harm that exemption is trying to avert, then definitely the public interest will take precedence. But that will have to come to the Commission to reach to that point. Let me take, for example, my colleague in the studio was talking about the Mpox, which is a medical condition. And when we had Ebola or COVID, these are very new diseases that even the world was grappling to get a vaccine for. So let's say we have a case in Sierra Leone and we need the information for that index case. Though the information will fall under personal information, which is an exempt information for the person, its medical condition, but if we need that information to process a way of finding a solution to the disease, then we'll have to invoke the public interest test for that particular exemption. So
All right,
we have
okay.
exemptions.
But don't you think, you know, for example, politicians and some CEOs, multilateral companies or CSOs or CEOs, or chief executive officers of multilateral companies, you know, highly placed individuals, persons with influence and affluence, they will hide behind public interest, you know, to kind of dodge or to escape, you know, the right to people for people to know.
Well, first of all, you should know that wherever a lot of secrecy thrives, there is corruption in there. If I have nothing to hide, then definitely I will disclose the information. But whatever the case may be, whether someone, a minister or a CEO or anybody trying to hide behind the exemption clause, you should know that if you face that challenge, you request for information, as in the case of Corporate Affairs Commission, and nobody answers you, or someone is saying that it falls under the exemption clause. If you think that is not the case, you have the right to come to us, to the Right to Access Information Commission.
All right, okay, David.
Sit on it and adjudicate on that matter.
All right, thank you so much, David. David is the Public Information and Communications manager at the Right to Access Information Commission, and the program you're still watching is Good Morning Sierra Leone, live on the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. When I move on to the Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs, well, they are in collaboration with other agencies joining the world to commemorate the World Tourism Day. The theme for this year's tourism celebration is Tourism for Peace. Tourism has the power to build bridges across cultures, fostering understanding and peace by bringing people together to celebrate our shared humanity. Without peace, there will be no sustainable development, which will help promote economic prosperity and social harmony. Well, for more on this, I have Abdul Malik Kuruma. He is Kamara. He is the senior tourism officer in that Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Let us talk about the theme for this year. Well, it is an annual event. It happens every year. But let us discuss the theme. You know, why this theme, Tourism for Peace?
Thank you, sir. Firstly, let me thank the government for prioritizing tourism as the first enabler to the achievement of the Big Five on the medium-term national development plan, and also to thank the minister in an initiative to roll out Tourism for All campaign, which has a specific theme. September is tourism multiplier benefits. One of the benefits of tourism, not only job creation, income generation, but it's also creating peace, social cohesion, stability. So 27th of September every year, United Nations World Tourism is celebrating UN World Tourism Day, and the theme for this year is Tourism and Peace. The World Tourism Day is celebrated really to show the immense contribution of the tourism sector in the socio-economic and political development of nations. And beyond that, tourism is also promoting peace, bridging conflict resolutions between and amongst nations, and then stabilizing nations, and then trying to rebrand nations, and then promote tourist attraction to those post-conflict zones. So the UN thought it fit that this year, with lots of conflicts around the globe, the theme should be tourism and peace.
Okay, now how much use do you make of the Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs? How much do you make of the Peace Museum? Because now tourism for peace, you come to countries like, for example, in Rwanda, people go to the Genocide Museum, where they see human skulls, they see human parts being preserved. For people to know that, in 1994, these people we are seeing here, these remains, these people we are massacred because of the ethnic group, they belonged to, and because of their probably their political orientation. How much have you done to kind of remind people of some of these things?
Really, the Peace Museum and the Peace and Cultural Museum exist to promote the education on the war, and then to remind people about the destruction, particularly the young people who have not got the chance, to witness the war lively, will visit the museum. So one of our activities is to take students to the museum, the Peace Museum, for them to have the opportunity to see live monuments and relics from the war, so that they will learn about the destruction, and that will discourage them not to enter into any act of violence. And if ever they have a conflict, they will be encouraged to resolve it in a non-contradicting way.
So how are you now? I will come back to you, Malik. But then today is Friday, and we have an artist in the studio. He's a man who doesn't need much introduction, Big Joe. Well, he's planning to release a new song or a new album. But then we've got one. Let us just whet our appetite, by hearing or by seeing what he has done, the piece he has put together as he prepares for his launch. So, but firstly, let us know that Big Joe is with us in the studio here. Welcome to the program, Big Joe.
It's a pleasure being here.
So, this song that we are about to play, what this song is all about?
Well, the title of the song is
the title
"Fen Money, Elma Fen You."
Okay,
so the whole ideology here is that in life you have to do everything possible in order to be financially stable.
So this song that we are about to play is part of the album that you're about to release, right?
Yes, and in fact that's the album title.
Okay, that's the album title?
Yes.
Okay, so let us have it. Let us have a taste or a bite of this one. A Fen Money, Leoma Fen You. Let us have it from Big Joe.
What up? Oh, baby, fresh show.
Interesting. Of course, I for fresh. Oh, you forget say, find woman, na money killer.
Fen money, make woman fen you. Money no daylight. Brother, money no daylight. Fen money, make woman fen you. Money no daylight. Papa, money no daylight. Fen money, make woman fen you. Money no daylight. Brother, money no daylight. We're so sweet, na money killer. We're woman fine, na money. We're so sweet, na money killer. We're woman fine, na money. Oh yeah. Big Joe. Nowadays woman not.
Well, that is just a teaser. You've got a bite, which means the album itself will be launched shortly. When are you going to launch this album? Well, the title is, I like that title. Fen Money, Leoma Fen You. So in other words, you're trying to say, what are you trying to, insinuate here?
Well, the moral of the story is love is beautiful, but money is powerful. That's more of the story.
So when you have money, you have the women.
Well, not necessarily, but even in your home, you be comfy, you be comfortable. Because in our African settings, when milk and honey is flowing, life seems to go easier. But when there is a shortage of money, maybe you lost your job or you don't have a job, the pressure tends to be there. So with that, and women sometimes, some of them can really stand that pressure. You will get that negative vibes for them sometimes for simple things. You start crying. For minor things, you go into a fight, all because of the constraints in the family due to lack of finance. So, at the end of the day, make money.
Alright, okay, Big Joe, we'll come back to you later. Well, I still have here Malik. I'm from the Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs. You're talking about this year's celebration of International Tourism Day. Quickly, but then don't forget, we also have here the Albert Academy as the school celebrates 120 years. 120 years is not 120 days. So a lot of things to talk about, a lot of activities lined up. But then the person that is going to talk here is, we're talking mostly about what will happen over the weekend or during the weekend, which is the Africana Sunday and some other activities back to school and all the rest of it. But then quickly, Malik.
Yes, as I said, the 27th of September today is a World Tourism Day, and the theme is Tourism and Peace. And the theme is purposely chosen to show how tourism promotes peace, stability, and resolve conflicts across nations. And then again, peace again, it prevails to promote tourism. In the absence of peace, really, tourism will not thrive.
Well, let us know the activities you've lined up, apart from visiting the Peace Museum, just across at the residual special court for Sierra Leone. Let us know some of the activities you're involved in.
Yeah, and line of activities. We'll be organizing the World Tourism Day country-wide. We'll be going to the province, having it in Kenema, where we'll have the Grand Day today, this 27, and tomorrow again, Saturday. Then we'll move over to Magburka, where we'll also continue celebration. And then we'll go to Kailaun and then Bond in subsequent days. Then we'll also have in quiz competition, debates competition for schools and students. And then we'll be moving these students and communities to the Peace Museum for them to learn about the war and to invoke peace into their
attitude. Never again. I mean, by them saying what happened, even though some of them were not born, all of them, in fact, were not born, so that they know that so happened. So we cannot resort to doing, what led to the war, and in fact, them involving in anti-social activities. But then quickly, let me just go over to Rudolph Wilson. He's here representing the Albert Academy Alumni Association, as the school is celebrating 120 years since 1904, and a school named after Ian Albert, a UMC missionary who later died in the Bumpe River in Moyamba district. Now the school is 120 years. This school has produced eminent Sierra Leoneans, of course, the first Prime Minister, the first President, second Prime Minister, and other people. You can name all of them, but time is not available. Anyways, tell us about the Africana Sunday. I know you are already in your attire. I can see.
Thank you very much, Sheikh Sumaya. As you've rightly stated, the Albert Academy will be celebrating its 120th anniversary. That's since 1904. Line-up activities is one, the Africana service. That will be this Sunday coming, the 29th, at the King Memorial United Methodist Church, Regent Road, at 1:30 p.m. The Africana service is not only for the Albert academicians. Let me say first of all that the theme for this year's celebrations is honoring our legacies. We are set to showcase all that are pertinent when you think of the setup of the school. The occasion will bring on board all Albert academicians, families and friends of Albert Academy past and present pupils. The service will be in Creole all through, and then it will be a very short service in the church, and then we'll march through the streets of Freetown to the school grounds. Following, we'll have a Shobi march, a Shobi dance, and then we'll also have the bonfire after the Ashobi dance in the school grounds. We'll also use that opportunity to showcase the pavement project. We already on the verge of completing the school pavement project. So I think all of those activities will be, showcased to the public. And then on the 6th, the grand Thanksgiving. But before the 6th, which will be on a Sunday, the 4th of October, everyone, you and I know that we'll be having the Founders Day ceremony. The Ashobi is what I'm putting on now, and we are encouraging all academicians and friends of Albert Academy to purchase the Ashobi. We still have some time. Today is Friday, but Sunday is not too far, but you can purchase the Ashobi at 220 leons per lapa, and then you will join us to celebrate.
Okay, now enough. The thing is, how much the level of cooperation by alumni, by all pupils, of the school, insofar as these celebrations are concerned. 120 years.
Yeah, we are having immense cooperation from both past and present pupils. We are having active participation of all class groups. Mind you, the theme is honoring our legacy, innovating our future. If we are to honor our legacy, it means all of those past academicians, old pupils, as you call them, or old boys, they are to come on board, because it is what the school has achieved we are going to celebrate, and also bringing on board new things or new ideas. So we are going to have that kind of cooperation from each and every class group and each and every individual academician, because we want to also pass some new things to the new generation, and the new generation will also have their own input. So it's a blend.
All right, okay, quickly, thank you so much, Rudolph Wilson from the Albert Academy alumni, the planning committee of the 120th anniversary celebrations. Quickly, the Minister of Health, tell us the vaccination has commenced, because as we know, it is supposed to start today, and it has started already. Tell us, what are your expectations, quickly, in very few seconds?
Yes, it commences today, and it will go on to the 30th for all the 14 districts in the provinces. And in October, from the 11th to the 14th, then the Western area, urban and rural, will do their own. And we are expecting all children 0 to 59 months to actually receive these vaccines. We are going house to house, that is the strategy, and we will be visiting schools, and we encourage every parent or every guardian or every childminder to make sure that their child or their ward is vaccinated.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. He is Harold Thomas he is the health education expert in that ministry, Ministry of Health. Quickly, Malik from the Ministry of Tourism, as you said, this World Tourism Day. What do we expect? In a few seconds as well.
Yeah. We thanking all our partners, MDs, and then the public, private sector, in joining us to celebrate this World Tourism Day. And we are having activities that line up, symposia, talking about the theme itself, and then sensitive topic, tourism, peace, conflict resolutions. So we are calling on the public to join us to promote tourism, to preserve our environment, promote our cultural heritage, and then join us in celebrating this day to promote tourism.
All right, thank you so much. I'm here is Abdul Malik and Kamara, Senior Tourism Officer in the Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs. Round off quickly. What do we expect on Sunday? Quickly, very few seconds as well.
Well, we are encouraging all academicians to put on their shobi, but also to be in a proper selves. That by that I mean discipline and the decorum that we so desire to see in the church, in the streets of Freetown, in the school campus, and all through the week.
All right, okay. Now, Big Joe, quickly give us an a cappella before going, because we've heard your music, so we need to have an a cappella from you, yes, before leaving the studio.
Okay, I'll just try to do the first verse of the song. Nowadays, woman that I look for love, if they look for provider, and love now so where you put for me, I'll put for you. Where you spend for the baby, baby go can't find you, but where you lock him for the baby go sharp you, sharp. All them stingy man we know they spend per woman. We know they swear them, but fire will burn them.
Well, that is Big Joe. Well, soon to be released album, Woman Fen Monile Woman Fen. Well, we've got an a cappella from Big Joe. He is a popular artist, and earlier we played his song. Well, that song is the album title. That is all right, thank you so much, and that is how we say goodbye. But then just be reminded that we shall be joining our outside broadcast team in Go as we bring you live coverage on the AGM. That is the annual general meeting of the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists. That will come shortly after this particular program. Many thanks to all our guests here this morning. And special thanks to my producer, Daphne Zena Famara. I am Sheku Smela saying have a splendid weekend. Goodbye.
Where use? You get use?
Yes, I get use.